Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today is the first day I've walked on this road in nearly 2 weeks, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I told you in a previous video about Izzy getting hurt. It was the second full day of the virus national emergency. She sprained her leg. I think it's like right at the dog leg thing where it goes like that on this rear leg here. She had a leash on, which she pretty much never does, and we were at a gas station in the middle of Wisconsin somewhere, and she saw Natalie for the first time in a couple days, and she like jumped straight up into the air, got the leash caught around her legs or something, and then came falling straight down and landed on the leg. And it was all swollen up, and she had to go to the vet, and she's still on some kind of a anti-inflammation drug. I believe that's what it is. I don't think she has a pain pill anymore. She's in pain once in a while, but we haven't been able to take her on her walks. So the last time I was on this road, there was a bunch of snow on this. It's been about 10 days since we've walked on this road. So she really thinks that we should be playing stick right now. She went and got this thing from somewhere, and she keeps putting it in front of me. And when I just walk away without throwing it, she grabs it and shakes her head and gets all angry. She is really frustrated with this injury, but she'll have to live with it. Between the rain and the quarantining and her injury and the duck's injury, it's just so weird around here these days. But hopefully the sun will poke out in a day or two, and at least something will kind of get back to normal. We'll still be quarantining, and she will still have this injury. They said it could last a couple months, which is into summer. I can't even fathom trying to keep this dog from running that long. And she seems to be doing pretty good, so hopefully things will get kind of back to normal soon. So what I'm going to do today is get over to the greenhouse. I got to check on all the flats that I have planted. Those were planted, 3 weeks now? Something like that. It was before the national emergency, so at least 2 weeks. I got to check on that, water if needed. I got to do some spritzing and stuff, and then I'm going to head down to the vineyard and hopefully get a little bit of pruning done before it starts raining. It's supposed to rain all day today, on and off. And so far it's rained all morning. It just stopped a little bit ago. So let's head over to the greenhouse and we'll play it by ear from there. Okay, I'm here in the greenhouse. I was taking the covers off of this stuff, and Izzy was playing around outside. And I could hear a pileated woodpecker right behind the greenhouse. So I snuck out there. I was going to try to get it on film. And Izzy saw me coming out and ran over by me and scared the woodpecker, and it flew over right over that way a bit and then yelled at me maniacally. They are a crazy bird, but I do believe they're trying to set up shop somewhere right back in here, which is going to be really cool. But anyways, back to the greenhouse stuff. I used to have the lilac cuttings as well as these potted lilacs. I had them on that foam down there and this heating pad here. I just plugged this heating pad back in, and I want to see what's going on with it, because about a week ago or so, I came in here and it smelled like something was cooking, and this is what happened to the foam that was under it. So I don't know what's going on. I've used these things for years and never had one malfunction, but it seemed like this was malfunctioning as well. I couldn't get the temperature set, but it's not even warming up, so maybe it just fried out. I do have several more of these in my greenhouse box, or bin, so if it is messed up, I'll have to break one of them out and start using it. I brought the cuttings in the house, and they're in front of the furnace, and I have some grapevine cuttings in there as well. I'll show you that at some point, but I may have killed my lilacs, but at least we'll get to see this half of the experiment. I'm just not having real good luck with the lilac cuttings in the winter. I thought I was going to get a real nice set of them this year, but again, I appear to have killed them. But anyways, my hollyhocks are all coming up. I believe these are burgundy, so what I'm going to do with these is just scoop them out here and there, throw them in pots, and a little bit later when it's time, I will plant them here and there. It's not a native. I'm trying to do as much native as possible, but I do want to have regular gardens as well, and that's where the hollyhocks are going to end up going. Like I said, these are doing just fine. I have no idea if they have roots yet or not, but they look like they're going to bud out at any time. The buds are opening up, but I really can't tell if they've broken dormancy or not. It gets cold in here at night, below freezing sometimes, so maybe they're just going to wait a little while longer, but I do believe these are all going to make it, at least the common lilac. Okay, we got a bunch, and let me zoom in on some of these. These are all little blue stem, and I got quite a bit of sprouts going on here, and I believe this was the last thing I planted. These are the purple love grass, and they're way harder to see. I'm not sure if you could even see that. There's a couple right there, a couple right there, but some of them are a bit bigger, and you can actually see them. Where is a couple? Yeah, like right here. I'm sure you can see that. So out of all these, there's probably 50 growing. I mean, they're all over the place. They're just so small, it's hard to see. So that's good. I'm going to water this one. This one's getting a little bit dry, but I filled the reservoir on most of these a couple days ago, so they're pretty well taken care of. Just this one is a little bit dry. Over here we have the Prairie drop seed, and if you remember, I did not want these to sprout yet, and I got my wish. They say that they should be cold stratified for about a month after they're scarified or scarified. So I scarified them, put them in here, and then these have just been left in the cold with covers on them so they keep moist. So I think it's about 10 days from now, I'm going to put these on heat as well and try to start sprouting them. And then I have the rest of the seed for this is in a bag and in the fridge, and I'm going to start pushing them into the ground back in the restoration area here. This is Indian grass. I picked this myself from the first planting over there, so I got to get this stuff planted soon. This right here is orchard grass. I wanted to study it. I picked this at the end of the year last year. It's been sitting on my desk, but I got to go break it up and toss it in the pasture over there. It's a pasture grass. It's not a native. So that's about it for in here. These are going to get pushed in the ground. I did it with bottle brush grass yesterday, and there's still a good deal of bottle brush seed over in the prairie over there, so I'm going to harvest that as well and kind of planted here and there all over the place. So that's about it for the greenhouse. Everything is doing pretty much as expected, and it's all going to start taking off in a short while. But for now, I'm going to get these covers back on and then get down to the vineyard and do some pruning. Okay, down here in the vineyard, Natalie's with me. She's going to go collect these buckets from last year, and then she's going to go along and pick up this stuff again. I mean, it's all over. That's just a little stem from a leaf, but all of this stuff has the potential of having disease on it, and it needs to go away. Got the neighbor kids out there, so I'll be talking to them at some point. They love to chat. Okay, let's get to work. Oh, and Izzy is now friends with their dog. She used to be afraid of the dog big time, but they were playing here, not yesterday. Was that the day before yesterday?
Yeah.
All right, I have 2 rows left. I'm going to get as far as I can before it starts raining, and then Natalie and I have to head into town to get some supplies. It'll only be the second time since the national emergency that we've gone to town, so it'll be interesting. Okay, let me get to work. That wraps it up. Got another row completely done, got everything dumped. It is just freezing out here. I got to get in and warm my hands up a little bit. But I wanted to show you something before I go. I've slowly kind of changed the way I prune because I've had so many problems. Say, this is kind of a typical prune. It has 3 buds on it. Oh, it has a basil bud as well. So you got them, they come out, and then these will hang down. All 3 of these should hang down just fine. But in a lot of cases, I have 2 or 3 canes that are all sideways like this. What I'm doing in that case is, like this one, I just cut off with 1 bud that's facing down. This one has 1 down, 1 up, and another 1 down, and this one sideways. So when I come back and do a secondary pruning, I could probably cut the end of this one off and then just rub off the one that's going up. Then I should have 1, 2, 3 that are all facing down. If I just left this one like I normally do, I would have 1 of them going up and it's going to break in the wind, so I would end up with only 2 on that one. And I don't want to keep going out until I get another one aiming down. So I'm kind of modifying a little bit by leaving this little stump of one here. And in some cases, I actually have 2 little stumps, or actually 3 little stumps with just the first bud like this aiming down. See, like this one will be fine. This one will go out into the aisle and it'll be cut off, but then these 2 will be fine. So this has 3 that are usable all on 1 cane, but there's a lot of places where, like right here, got 1 down there. This one is going up and it'll break, and so I have 1 here and 1 here, so that'll give me my 3. I haven't done it this way before, but I think it's going to end up being a better way. If you've watched the channel before, in the summer I'll end up with a lot that are, they just curl and go straight up, and the wind ends up breaking them off. So I'm hoping to get a little more productivity this way, seeing how I have to replace a good amount of cordons this year. We'll see how it works. Not too big of a deal. Also, you could see the drip of water here and here. Some of the vines have it on every cut, which means they are breaking dormancy. So I really have to get this last one done real soon. Same thing with the apple trees. We had such deep snow in here during the winter, I couldn't get in here to do it very well. I did that first row in the winter, and then it got to raining and or very cold and windy, so I am just really late here. But I'll be back tomorrow and get this last one done. And Natalie wants to learn how to prune, so she's going to prune the fruit trees. So if you want to see Natalie learn how to prune the fruit trees, that's coming up in a day or two, I think. Whenever it's sunny out. It's just so nasty to do it in this kind of weather. So if you want to see that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure to put them in the comment section below. And if you give us a thumbs up and or share the video, it helps us out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.